Few actresses have had a career quite as impressive and respectable as Helen Mirren. The actress has been honing her craft for over half a century, which has led her to a great deal of acclaim and respect. But despite being one of the most prestigious actresses out there, Helen has never been one to shy away from doing things others may consider improper. In fact, the actress was known in her early days for her willingness to bear it all in front of the camera. This free-spirited nature has stayed with the actress into her old age, and is arguably responsible for keeping the 74-year-old in such great health. In order to understand how Helen Mirren got to where she is today, we have to first understand where she started. Join Factsverse as we take a look at Helen Mirren then and now. Helen was born in 1945 on July 26th. She was born in England, though her father came from a wealthy, aristocratic Russian family. Helen always had an interest in theater, especially the works of Shakespeare. She first saw a production of Hamlet at 13 years old, and that production stayed with her. According to Helen, the early exposure to Hamlet is what first inspired her to take up acting as a hobby. She started acting in theater and eventually was able to secure a position with the Royal Shakespeare Company. Despite the prestige that came along with being a Shakespearean actor, Helen had different ideas when it came to her film work. Although one might consider acting in Shakespeare plays to be a fairly highbrow gig, her film work was often a bit more lowbrow. However, Helen was always perfectly fine with this. This is one of the things that set Helen apart from her peers at an early age. In 1969, she famously appeared fully nude in the film Age of Consent, something many other actresses were too nervous to do. 10 years later, she acted alongside Malcolm McDowell in the Penthouse production Caligula. This film, which has become notorious for its risque material, was the perfect project for Helen to express her free-spiritedness. However, despite her willingness to appear nude on screen, it was always Helen's acting ability that impressed audiences the most. She appeared in many other films during that time, including The Long Good Friday and Excalibur. Mirren has always been very open about her sexuality, and why she was never afraid to appear naked. According to her, she always knew that sex sold well. She felt the easiest path towards success in Hollywood was going to be to use her natural good looks to win over audiences. Thankfully, she didn't have many reservations about appearing vulnerable on screen. She's expressed that this openness about her sexuality came with a dark side. Men have always been very attracted to her. She's expressed that many men have been a little too forward with her in her earlier days. According to her, she was taken advantage of by many men during her prime. However, due to societal stigmas, she didn't have any recourse to seek out justice. Perhaps this is part of why Helen has tried so hard to use her power to help spread sex positivity and openness. Helen has said she wasn't truly sexually liberated until she was older. Although she had no qualms about appearing nude on film, she says her sex life was not so exciting in those early days. This was in large part due to her not feeling comfortable in her own skin. But as she got older, the star came into her own and began to experience more sensual pleasures. According to Helen, when women are young and beautiful, they're also paranoid and miserable. Thankfully, Helen is still beautiful inside and out. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, hit the like button to show your support. And subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Even though she's had some negative experiences regarding her free sexuality, Helen Mirren has never let anyone take her spirit away. From appearing fully nude in the 1969 film Age of Consent to appearing as an elderly nude model in 2004's Calendar Girls, Helen has always aimed to be a progressive sexual role model for the younger generations. It's perhaps this youthful view of her own sexuality that's allowed her to retain both her charm and good looks well into her old age. She's also been incredibly candid about other matters involving her career. In 1999, she starred in a film called Teaching Mrs. Tingle that wasn't a huge hit with critics. When asked why she took the role, Helen was keen to answer it was because the producers gave her a very large amount of money for it. However, despite her willingness to bear it all in the early days of her career, Helen has refrained from appearing naked in recent years. Still, she isn't afraid to promote her sexuality in different ways. Recently, she made headlines when a picture of her in a red bikini circulated. This picture showed that despite all the years that have passed since her appearance in films such as Age of Consent and Caligula, the actress still has an incredible body. However, she prefers to keep that body out of the public eye, saying it's purely for her husband. Helen has always been so free-spirited, it may come as a shock that the actress ever settled down. After a fling with Liam Neeson, Helen met her future husband, Taylor Hackford, during the late 80s. The two were romantically involved and eventually married in 1997. At the time of their marriage, both Taylor and Helen were in their early 50s. Helen will likely always be best known for playing the Queen of England in numerous films. She's played both Queen Elizabeth I and Queen Elizabeth II. In 2006, her portrayal as Queen Elizabeth II in the film The Queen won the actress a great deal of acclaim. Even the Queen of England herself watched it and praised Helen's performance. Helen Mirren is still acting in films today and looking great while doing it. At 74, the years have been incredibly kind to the respected actress. It appears her best years are still ahead of her. She recently appeared in multiple entries of the Fast and the Furious franchise. This included a cameo appearance in 2017's The Fate of the Furious, as well as a more pronounced role in the 2019 spin-off Hobbs and Shaw. Whereas other dignified and respected actresses would likely balk at the opportunity to appear in such quote-unquote low-class films, Helen has always been different. Then and now, Helen has managed to stay in the upper echelon of the Hollywood elite her way. She's got the talent to outact most other Shakespearean actors, yet she isn't afraid to look like a fool by appearing in lowbrow material. There are few Hollywood stars who are as candid and frank as Helen Mirren. And there are few stars who share her incredible talent. What's your favorite Helen Mirren movie? Let us know in the comments section. And be sure to like this video and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content.